Hello and welcome to Shambhavi Spectrum Marketing Magic Industry Insights. And today I have with me Royan all the way from Philippines. He is a LinkedIn specialist, and instead of calling himself an entrepreneur, he says he's an infopreneur. Is that right, Royan? Thank you so
That
much for spending time with me, and I look forward to a discussion with you on some marketing strategies and aspects as to what you use, what you would suggest to my audience. Thank you so much. Please, can you start with a little bit of a background about yourself?
definitely, yeah. Before anything else, I'd like to
Yeah,
say to
I
hi to
can't hear
everyone.
you.
Okay,
Yes,
let's
now I
see
can.
here.
Yes, I
Yes, you
can
got
now.
it. All right. So before anything else, I'd like to say hi to everyone. Thank you so much to Dr. Jumbavi for inviting me for this video. And I'm gonna give everything in my power to just make this wonderful for everyone. So you'd like me to introduce myself? Is that right, Dr.
Yes,
Jumbavi?
please. Yes, please.
Absolutely. So my name is Royan Nidea. I have been in sales for over 10 years now. And about 4 years ago, I had an opportunity to become part of an accelerator program that focused on helping startup founders build their own companies. And my main responsibility with that company was to market and sell the business coaches that was part of the program. So it was more of selling business coaches, helping them build their brand, helping them build their online presence. And the main platform I use to help them make this happen, since they are business coaches, is LinkedIn. For the past 4 years, I've focused in helping business coaches in building their online presence, their personal brand, and I always say that we're not here to build a business, but we're here to leave a legacy, and that's what made me very happy to be able to engage with Dr. Shambavi, because she's just a wonderful person, just trying to to do everything in this world to make this world a better place. So it's such a pleasure.
That, Thank you so much for those kind words. And so this means that I thought in the recent past, people have moved on from looking at LinkedIn as a job search platform to actually a brand building one. But you are telling me that you have been doing this for the past 4 years, which we understand that LinkedIn is a serious media and people look at it for professional, uh, whatever they reach, whatever they require. And you have used that, you have helped people with that. And now you are on your own, working for yourself. How does it
Mhm.
feel to be doing that?
Well, I think the direct answer, like the simple answer to that question, is I couldn't be more grateful enough. I left a high paying job to do what I am doing right now, and I can say that it is the best decision I've ever made. I quit college when I was 18, to be able to support the family, and that led me to a lot of challenges and struggles in life. I experienced only eating once a day. There were times where I had to go to bed and with an empty stomach because I didn't have any money to buy food, but and that also that experience led me to just having these opportunities and seeing the world in a bigger way. And right now I am doing what I am doing because I believe that if I can help business coaches market and sell themselves even better, then that means that they will be able to also reach out to more people and touch more lives. And that is what I want to be able to, somehow contribute to the world. So the more business coaches out there who are successful, that means that also more businesses and more individuals, professionals are going to, be successful and, just having a, happiness. So that's definitely how I would look at it.
I'm very grateful to you, Royan, that you shared your story of rising from very basic or almost nothing, having to quit college. Because most of the time we see very glorified end results. No, nobody actually speaks about the struggles which they went through. And I'm grateful to you. And I wish you all the very best and hope you see more glory in turn. Let us come back to the fact that you said you are coaching business coaches. Even I, like a normal person, would usually think, what is there to coach a person who's already coaching? Why do they need? But I came across a quote from one of the famous people saying, if sports people, experts can have coaches, and in various fields people have coaches, then why can't coaches have coaches? So then it started making little sense to me. And
Definitely.
how receptive do you think people are? Like now, I said I had a mental block. How receptive do you think people are? Or do they seek you? Or do you tell them where they would need your support? How do you go
That,
about it?
that's actually that's a fascinating question. So, and this is I'm going to start talking about marketing, right? So
Yes.
people are going to seek to you if you give them something. So there's this concept of give, sell. So the concept of building an online presence and personal brand is simply reaching out to people and being at present and showing out yourself. But instead of selling directly and just pitching, you give to them. So in that standpoint, there are two answers to your question, coach. So the first thing that you have to do is to reach out to people, but that doesn't mean that you'll have to sell them or sell them, give them your pitch. You reach out to them to offer your help. And then the more you help, eventually they are the one who's gonna like reach out to you. And that's actually a really, really good point as well, coach. So what does it mean I mean Dr. Jamban, but you're also a coach, so I can call you coach, right? Dr.
You can just call me Shambhavi. I'm okay with that.
But that's a really good point, right? So how am I helping this business coaches if they are business coaches? So here's what's happening. Right now, a lot of business coaches out there who are, let's say, for example, experts in sales, experts in leadership, experts in building a business, expert in, like an executive coach, helping people in their careers, are expert in what they are doing, but they don't know how to market themselves online. They like it is we are in a new era where, okay, especially when COVID hit, right? So a lot of my clients were doing their marketing by giving live events, right? Showing up on radio, showing up on TV. But they realized that once COVID hits, that okay, I don't have an online presence. What do I do now? Where do I start? And this is where I come in. I help them build their online presence, build their personal brand online, and share them my insights on my experience of helping business coaches in this manner as well. So each and every one of us are expert in a in something, right? But then there is also a part in this world where we are not good at. And if you can fill up that gap from with someone who who lacks that ability, then that is already something that you can already build a massive business out of it. 6 to 7 figures, even 8 figures, to be honest.
Everyone who gives any kind of advice about social media or LinkedIn or anything speaks about consistency, right?
Definitely.
How? Yeah, and that you need to be consistent and visible, both. Uh, what do you think is consistent and what is too much?
That's a really good question. I love that question.
Thank you.
So I think consistency means more. So it doesn't matter if you're doing it every day or once a week. So when I say consistency, you need to be able to deliver on a consistent basis. If you commit to yourself that you're gonna do once a week, then it have to be once a week because it stacks up. It's kind of like investing in stocks. If you invest in stocks every month, it's going to stack up, and next thing you know, you have millions of dollars, right? It's the same thing
I
with
wish.
it is. Now if you do it in content creation, a lot of people think when you say consistency or content creation that they need to bombard the platform with content. It doesn't have to be that way. It's too much when you are already trying so hard to put something out there, even if it's not valuable anymore. So I'll give you a deeper insight on this. Compare someone who is putting out a content out there once a week, but always highly valuable. Every time he puts out content, it's like it's mind blowing. It's full of content. He's not holding back, or she's not holding back, and it's highly relevant to her or his audience, compared to someone who's putting out something out there every day, but it's not well thought, it's not strategic. I would go for the one that's doing it once a week, because in content creation, it's also very important that you consider your audience. So if you try to put a content just for the sake of putting out contents without considering your audience, and just putting something out there to make you feel good, then it's not gonna work. There are a few people out there. What they would do is like put a content every day, but it's like quotes, and that's still it. It needs to be highly valuable, and then you always have to be in a perspective on like what is a content that my audience is going to love and that is going to definitely help them. Something that they can also implement themselves and make a difference in their lives. I think that's super powerful. So my answer to your question in simple terms is that, consistency is having that commitment to be consistent. It doesn't have to be every day, but it needs to be consistent. And then too much is when you are already trying so hard to put out content, even if it's not relevant anymore, just for the sake of putting something there. Especially on LinkedIn, you don't have to bombard LinkedIn like 1 to 2 posts, one video, one long article, not really an article, like a post is already good enough.
So the next question that I actually want to ask you is, this used to happen on Facebook. It still happens that, companies, especially the small organizations, they make a personal profile, okay?
Mhm.
And then they send you friend request. Whereas actually you don't want to be friends with the company, because after some time, you know that somebody else is going to be the admin, whereas your Facebook is your own. And this is the same thing which is happening on LinkedIn now, that people create personal profiles and they send it across. They say only then you get access to the various the connections which people have. What do you think about it? Should they make a page profile for the company, or a personal profile is all right? What is your opinion on this?
That's a really good question. So in terms of LinkedIn, I mean, so first of all, if you believe that your audience are on LinkedIn professionals, business owners, executives, corporate, there's no other way for you to build a brand but LinkedIn. LinkedIn right now is 2011. That means that if you put out content out there, it's just gonna, it's going to catapult your reach, because LinkedIn itself is going to help you reach out to more people. Okay. Now, my answer to your question is that it's both important that you build, a profile page for yourself and then a company page to make you more professional. But and what is going to drive people to your company page is yourself. So you make both, but then you focus on building your personal brand, especially if you're in the information business. Now it is also applicable to anyone. Let's say, for example, that you are, even if you're part of like a really big company. Let's say, for example, you're a sales specialist of Tesla, right? You build your personal brand because at the end of the day, the buyer that is going to buy the car is going to have that relationship with you as a salesperson, right? Let even if that person already wants to buy a car, do you want that person to buy from you or from your colleague that is also from Tesla, right? So you build your personal brand so that you can build a relationship to people, and because like right now, buyer is very powerful already. Like before they even consider purchasing, they've already done their own research. They already Googled everything, right?
Yes.
So there's a big human factor around it already. We do business with someone who we trust, with someone who built a relationship with us. So this is where a standpoint of being very authentic and sincere and helping people is going to come in place.
So thank you so much for that. And the next question I'm going to ask is focused on your personal strategies.
Yep.
What kind of marketing do you do for yourself? Like you said, you give value to people. I mean, those are all the content type. Where are you visible? If I typed your name, where would I see you come up?
And that's thank you so much for that question. It's ironic. I'll be honest with you. I am not putting out any contents yet. So it is ironic, right? Because one of the services that we provide to our clients is help them create contents. So I tell my clients it's very ironic that I am creating contents for you, but myself I don't have any content. But I think I just didn't see the need before since everything is good. But that's definitely something that I'm working on right now, and I'm also writing my own book. But you know, so it's crazy. And it's fascinating. So you might probably ask me a question. So okay, if you're not putting out content, how are you now? Giving value to your clients. How are you getting clients? Right. So there's a process on LinkedIn where you can utilize the power of just directly reaching out to them. And I'll walk you through this. This is a step by step. The first step is to optimize your profile. This means that you are going to turn your profile into a sales page. And just like any other sales page out there, your profile needs to be able to attract your customers, impress your customers the moment they see you, and then communicate your message very clearly. Like make it so easy for them to understand exactly who you are helping and what are you going to help them with. Once you are done with that, of it of like putting up your store. Right now, you have a store where people can come in and where people can see, know more about you and where you can, like entertain them. You now have an optimized profile. The second step is to use Sales Navigator. It is a premium feature of LinkedIn, and you probably think that, oh my gosh, I have to pay for it. It's totally worth it. It's $79.99 and it's for the first 30 days. If that in marketing is only expensive if it's not making you any money. Even if you're only paying $1, but that's not making you any another dollar, it's expensive, right?
Right.
And even if it's costing you $1 million, if it's making you $2 million, it's not expensive, right? Put all your money out there, right?
Right.
Now it's the same thing. So Sales Navigator is a premium feature in where you can find a specific group of people. Think of it in a way where let's say that you are in Dubai and your target clients are dentists, and you want to reach out to dentists who are just starting out, who needs more clients. You can find them on Sales Navigator. Once you've built this database of your target clients, you will be able to reach out to a target audience, not random people. And of course, there's some intelligence around it when you're doing the targeting, right? You already have an idea of who you want to reach out to, who you want to help, right? All you have to do is put that data points on the Sales Navigator, and it's going to help, and it's going to find those people for you. Let's say that you are now done setting up your store, which is your optimized profile. You now have a database of people you can reach out to bring into your store. The next thing you have to do is to reach out to them. So it's either you connect with them and send them a message, and this doesn't mean sending them a sales pitch. Connect with them softly. Introduce yourself. I would love to connect with you. I'm building my network of professional people, community-minded people. I hope you find value and I can see how we can help each other. Right? They connect with you, and then you can give them something of value. Right? You can invite them to an online event. You can invite them to like a networking event, a workshop, a webinar for free, right? And there's a certain topic of that. Let's say, for example, you are someone who is, who's experts in eggs. It's a bad example, but I'm trying to make it so that you can understand it works for everyone. Let's say that, for example, you are an expert in eggs. Now, you are going to put your message out there, and you're going to say how to, find the best eggs in the market. It's a crazy example, right? But you are reaching out.
It's not so crazy. You finished. I'll tell you then why it's not so crazy. Please go
Absolutely. Then, if it's a dentist coming to our example of a dentist, you can tell them how can you leverage LinkedIn to get more clients for your clinic. No, exclusive for dentists. Every dentist that you're going to reach out now is going to reach out back to you and say, yes, I'd love to attend. if they are actually looking for clients, right? Now, sending a connection request could be very tedious. It could take a lot of time, and this is where technology comes in. You can automate this entire process. It's a one-time setup where this technology will then reach out to your connection request on autopilot, and that's what's going to start bringing you, traffic and leads on autopilot. All you have to do is engage with them, give value, and of course, show up to your online event.
I'm really grateful to you, Royan, because you've worked, kind of, some of my audience is students, some of my audience is going to be people who are business, who are maybe even searching for jobs, and you've given them such wonderful tip. And I'm so glad you brought this out, that marketing should not be looked at as an expense. It's an investment which you need to make, and then you will get back from it, depending on how much efforts you put, not just in spending, but also in the follow-up part of it. So that's really wonderful. And thank you so much for that. On the question of eggs, I've actually attended a discussion by a company which is into eggs. They own a poultry farm, and they actually give information on how to find out if the egg is fresh. And
Right? It is. It's marketing. It's marketing. If that company do that, if that company do that, it would make more sense. You just buy from them.
Yes, and I'm a great follower of Martin Lindstock, who's a marketing expert. In fact, in one of his talks, he says that he advised a company in X country, saying how they wanted more yellow in their yolk. So how they added vitamins so that there could be more. So it's a serious business.
It is. Everybody, a lot of people have said.
It is for poultry people. It's serious business. Your example is right. Let me tell you that. So let us go back. So now, how do you track how much time you should spend with all these efforts that you've taken, and when do you know to quit, or when do you know to double in the efforts?
That's an amazing question, because tracking your your numbers are very important. The only way for you to be successful in any marketing, in any business, and probably in anything that we do, is to actually look at, in a perspective where see the results, not because so that you can see if it's working or not, but so that you can optimize it, right? Because if you start a campaign, it's not gonna work instantly. It's not overnight success. You need to look at that, and you need to learn from what you are doing. You probably need to change your targeting. You probably need to change your messaging, and because this messaging would then. So I'll give you an example. If you send a message saying, "Hi, it would be great to connect with you. I saw your profile, and I just figured I'd connect with you," and then you send a message. "Hi, I'm building a network of community-minded professionals. I would love to connect with you.
Yes.
Hope you wouldn't mind connecting." Both of that messaging is going to perform differently. You need to be able to see it in a way where you can improve it. Always optimize. See failure as something that you can learn from, and then you optimize until you reach success. Now,
sorry.
go ahead.
Okay. Because I was actually going to ask you that the autopilot message, doesn't it actually reveal that it is autopilot? I was going to.
Definitely. It people doesn't know that you're automating it, but people have an idea if you're not authentic in that message. If you're just if you didn't put any thought on it, so you need to be creative. There are even automation out there where you can send a GIF. Are you familiar with a GIF, coach? Those videos where it's doing this?
Yeah, okay.
So the moment they accept a connection request, you can send them a GIF where you're just waving hands, and there's a personal message saying, "Dr. Jambabi, thanks for connecting." That's powerful. This person actually edited a GIF or a GIF for me to say thank you. Or you can send them a video of yourself, right? Now, to answer how I track this, there are different ways. So on LinkedIn, there is a way for you to see how many people are viewing your profile. So that's one way to see if people are are looking at your profile. and it gives you that statistics. We're now in an era where, this platforms, this technology that we are using knows how important tracking is, so they give that to you. You just have to be consistent in looking at it and seeing how you can improve it. So that's number one. Number two, this automation softwares were available out there. Like an example of this in Expandy is gives you this dashboard where you can see how many people have you already reached out, how many people accepted your connection request, and how many people responded or send you a message. So we already have an idea of how it's working. It gives you the percentage and the actual number. That's how I'm looking at things in terms of numbers. And then of course you go down to sales. So it doesn't matter if you're getting like thousands and thousands new connections, but if you're not making any sales, then it's not working. So
I'm glad you brought that it's very simple, because I was actually going to ask you when you said that you need to track numbers and stuff. I was going to ask you that, is it that your IT background gives you that extra leverage? Because a person like me, the minute you say numbers, I get a freeze. So I was actually going to ask you, but you have just put it in very simple words.
definitely. I don't have any IT background, so
Just
I
give me
can
a second. Please just give me a second.
absolutely go ahead. Go. Let me know once it's good.
Yeah, sorry. You said you didn't have an IT background. I don't know why I thought it was. Sorry about that. Yes.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I don't have an IT background. I want to let you know that most of my clients are 55 to 65 years old. That is who am I attracting, because they don't know, they are business experts, they're business coaches, but they don't know anything about online.
Yes.
And it makes sense, right? That is
Right.
kind of their weak point.
I'm
And
there.
yeah, instead of them figuring it out, they look for someone who's going to help them with it, right? It's so simple. It's like it's actually spoon fed already.
Yes.
You use this technology, it's going to show you what the numbers that's happening, and then of course you look at yourself.
So you need to know where to look for it. That is the important
Yes,
aspect.
yes, yes.
Uh,
Sometimes you don't even have to look for it; it's there. The moment you open the software, the LinkedIn is gonna show you. You just have to know that there's something that you can that there's something there that you can see.
so somewhere when you were talking, you mentioned about radio. Okay, do people? What is?
Yeah.
How important is radio now in a person's strategy, even if they are not a speaker? I mean, we were discussing about people who are speakers and coaches. Even if they're not a speaker, what kind of a role do you think radio plays?
Please. That's a really good question. So before I answer that, I'd like to share with you that you need to have in anything that you do in marketing, the first thing that you need to understand is your target clients. If you don't have a clear audience, it's not going to work. Even if you have a lot of money to spend on marketing. The and I'm sharing this insight with you because if your let's say for example that you have an understanding that your target clients are drivers, truck drivers, right? It doesn't make sense for you to actually reach out to them on, on TV. Well, because it will make more sense for them to actually listen to you. So you can do podcasts, you can do radio, because that is most likely what they would be able to appreciate. Because while they're working, driving, they can listen to you, right? So that's something that you can look at. Now, so that is where understanding your target clients is. Know where your target clients spends their time and where are their attention, and that is where you need to just dive right into.
I think
That is
that's a
where
true insight. Yeah, that's a true insight which you have shared, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
So one of the subjects that I teach is integrated brand communication. And what would you like to tell me about it and the role of LinkedIn now for organizations as well, not just personal branding? For organizations, what would be the role of LinkedIn in integrated branding communications?
I would say, and this is where LinkedIn is going to play with, is that if you are in business and you know that your audience are on LinkedIn, it wouldn't make sense for you not to build a brand on LinkedIn, because this is where people spends their this are where decision makers are. Just think about this: an executive of a company most likely is not going to spend their time on Facebook or Instagram. It just doesn't make sense. But most likely they will be on LinkedIn. 44% of LinkedIn users are actually making at least $75,000 per month. On LinkedIn, there are about like 675 million users and counting. There's like enough for everyone, right? And 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 also on LinkedIn, you know, everyone are business oriented. Everyone's ready to do business. They're not there for entertainment.
But
They are there
yes,
for personal growth, to learn, and to do business. So if you're a company who truly wants to, an authentic in building your brand, you need to be able to utilize LinkedIn. And we go back to where I shared with you earlier. You need to understand your target clients. Because if your target clients are like 12, 14 years old, I wouldn't recommend LinkedIn for you, right? But if they are in this bracket and you know your target clients, then LinkedIn is where you can build a brand. And it doesn't matter. Like, but let me go deeper on this one because I know that we're going to have students
yes,
who's going to watch this, right?
yes,
Once you graduate, or even if you're a student right now, there are students out there like 13 years old out there, 14 years old, who's actually good at something, right? Like graphics, video editing. If you build a brand on LinkedIn, you can actually do business there. I met someone from Bangladesh just online, and I just like how he thinks, and I gave him some insights. So for free. He offered me something actually. He reached out to me and he told me, sir, would it be okay if I do this in for you, and then you help me with LinkedIn? And then, yeah, of course. I love how you think. Don't worry about it. You don't have to help me anymore. I'll help you out. But then he still ended up helping me, and it's good because the one who pays attention, right?
yes.
You don't want to give always free stuff because
Free.
sometimes they're not going to execute. So he's like, I think it's like 16 years old, and he's good at graphics. He knows how to like just do some editing. I told him, okay, here's what you need to do: optimize your profile and start reaching out to people on LinkedIn who doesn't have a banner. You know
Mm.
that LinkedIn profile banner?
Yes,
Tell
yes.
them that it would be great to connect with them and then offer your service. Ask them for $20 each. And he said, "Oh, that's a lot of money, sir. I'm only charging $5 for my work." So I told him, charge $20 and just reach out to them. After a few weeks, they told me, "Sir, I'm so happy. This changed my life. I now have this client,
Wonderful.
and I'm making some good money." And like for a 16-year-old making like,
Yes.
I don't know how much he's making now. I don't know what he's making now, but you only have to make like $100 a day. $20, that's good money, right?
That's of course. Anything, first of all, I always believe in the policies, something is better than nothing. So, and plus
Definitely.
the experience that he's getting, looking at all those profiles, looking at people, that is itself a learning apart from
Definitely.
whatever service that he's providing and value he's creating. I think that's a
Definitely.
wonderful portfolio for him. And it's really great that you're mentoring. I think somewhere your heart resides in those students who are young and who start by themselves because you yourself have been on that path and you understand those struggles very well.
Definitely.
Uh,
I'm so bad in saying no. So if someone reach out to me and just ask for help, I'm gonna help them. I believe that that young kid is already making like at least 4,000 dirhams now per month just by
that's so
doing that. And he's
wonderful.
still going to school.
That's
It's amazing.
and I think we should not feel bad that we don't know how to say no because that means there is some empathy left in us and we're not chasing the dollar figures, which I think uh, to reflect on ourselves. I think that's always a good idea.
Definitely.
So it's great. So
Actually,
please don't be apologetic about it that you don't know how to say no to people or you don't know how to. You're guiding them. That is really
for sure,
wonderful.
for sure. Actually, I think he's making now 8,000, 10,000 dirhams. Yeah,
Wonderful.
just doing really good. It's really doing good.
That
So
is
it's
so
amazing. I'm
wonderful.
so happy.
So,
I
so
just I
Ron, when
wanted
we
to
start,
share that insight.
yeah,
I want
please.
to share that insight. Sorry to interrupt, because we're going to have a lot of students here, and I want you to know that it doesn't matter how old you are. You have something that you can offer. Okay,
Right.
you're gonna love it.
So, yeah. Uh, So when we started, we had a little background. You knew that I was going to ask you some questions. Did you expect me to ask you some question which I didn't ask you?
No, I mean, I didn't have any expectations. So I didn't know what's gonna happen. To be honest, I just know that it's going to be something, for about marketing, and it's about just giving, information and love.
All right. Because I thought whether there was something you wanted me to ask you and you would be happy to talk about it. Before we sign off, I just want you to give us a little background into your personal self. What are your hobbies? How do you like to spend your time? Any favorite authors? Any favorite movies? Anything that you want to talk about yourself, please? What makes
Absolutely.
Royan?
Of course. I'd love to introduce my family here. I have a 3 year
Oh,
old daughter, right? And
okay.
of course, my wife. I only have one wife, which is good.
Which is very good.
She's so amazing. They're wonderful. I am passionate about marketing, helping just people. I believe that we just have to do our own part in making this world a better place. And if I in terms of hobby, I love surfing. So we before COVID we travel a lot, and then just surfing and eating. And before we sign off, I think the only thing I would want to to share with everyone, even if you're young, you're an adult, is that if we make decisions out of love, out of a positive perspective, it's going to always result to good. And don't worry about the how. Focus on the what first, and then your why you are doing things. In my case, I want to be able to just have more than enough resources so that I can, at least support a town where I can, support healthcare and education to these people. And, just let's just, we have something that we are so good at. And if we just, focus on that and share that to the world, you're going to be amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Zambavi.
Thank you so much, Royan, because that's a wonderful message. Sharing is caring is true. And if you can share, everything multiplies and the happiness multiplies. So thank you so much once again for being on Shambhavi Spectrum. And I will meet you again, hopefully in Dubai in person. Thank you for your time today.
You're so amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Cheers.
Bye.